everyone. So last video took a little pause from all this backlogs of book reviews that I have to do a book haul, but we're right back at it. So now it's time for another book review. This time I will be talking about Where Futures End by Parker Peavyhouse. This was sent to me by Penguin Random House in exchange for a fair and honest review, which I will definitely be giving you today. This is a YA science fiction novel, which at least that's how it was billed to us when it was offered. And I was intrigued by it because we don't see too many YA science fiction books that are ambitious enough to take on what this book says it will take on. We follow 5 teenagers from present day till more than 100 years in the future, and with each jump in time, we follow a different teenager in a different period during the existence of Earth. I was intrigued by this because it seemed like quite an undertaking and there could be some serious promise with something like that. And then I saw the size of the book and I was like, how are you going to be able to tell a story that's going to be that thorough and satisfying in only this many pages? But I wanted to give it a chance. And it became clear to me within the first section about the first person that this wasn't really going to be what I was thinking it was going to be. I really feel like this should have been billed as maybe a science fiction / fantasy novel, because in the first section about our first character, Dylan, he has this skill that makes him able to travel between 2 different worlds. And it's very obvious from the explanation of the book that there is this other world, but I figured it was more of like a science fiction-y traveling to different planets aliens thing. And there's something like that in there, but in the sense that some humans have this special ability to kind of communicate, and Dylan's like the first one to do so, and they call it the other place throughout the entire book. And that should give you an idea about the fact that they don't really talk too much about this world. Although this world plays a huge part in everyone's story, whether it's the present day story or the story that's 100 years plus in the future, they always call it the other place. We barely get to learn anything about it. And it's sort of like this thing that exists that some people are able to attain and others are not. And it just didn't sit well with me. The first section about Dylan was very confusing. That definitely felt like a fantasy aspect because it was him and this other world and him wanting to get back to this other world. The next person that we jumped to, her story I actually really liked. Of the 5 stories, there were 2 that I really enjoyed reading about, and honestly, if those were their own stories, I think it might have been better. Our next character, Brixney, is living 10 years in the future from when the first story takes place. 10 years in the future, everyone is attached to their social media. Some people, at least Brixney and her brother, are living in this debtor's colony, and the only way for them to earn money is to get hits on their social media account. Basically, everybody is constantly being filmed, and you can watch other people's streams all the time to see like what they're doing, and a lot of people will pull things to try and get people to pay attention to them, to have them earn money, and you know you're earning money because advertisements will pop up in the corner of your screen. Like, I just thought that was a really cool concept, and it seemed very realistic, very sci-fi, reasonably futuristic for 10 years in the future. Maybe a little extreme for Brixney because she's living in a debtor's colony, so her situation is very dire, but in general I thought that was really good. The other story that I really enjoyed was the one that took place 60 years in the future, and it's about a boy named Reef, and he's living in Seattle, and basically Seattle has become this sort of virtual game board, which does sound like some other books out there, so this one wasn't as unique, but the idea of how it's set up is kind of unique, so I did enjoy reading about that because I think I could really grasp what was happening. Whereas with the other stories, they were just too out there for me, and I didn't really enjoy my reading experience with this. It took me a lot longer to read it than it should have, considering the size, and although I really did enjoy the second and fourth story, and the writing was pretty good actually. I was impressed with the writing style. I really did like that. It just, overall, it didn't work for me. It was just too weird, and me and weird books are just, yeah, I don't like weird books. For that reason, I decided to give it a 2 out of 5 stars. I really haven't seen any other reviews on YouTube for this, which is usually a sign that Other people didn't really enjoy it that much. Goodreads, however, general consensus seems to be eh. But there's a lot of people out there that I feel are in the same boat as me. So if you have read Where Futures End, please let me know what you thought of it down below. Was it a little too weird for you as well? Or was it something that just worked for you? Because there are definitely people out there who would enjoy all the different concepts that you follow in this book up till the very end, where everybody is supposed to somehow be joined together. They're all supposed to be connected. I didn't really see it. Maybe it just went over my head and I kind of missed the greater concept of this book. As always, all of our links are in the doobly-doo. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you later.